France is burning again? Wow. The police are burning. The police that didn't join the protest, by the looks of it. People keep saying, this happened a few years ago, France is burning, the people are revolting. And the news isn't talking about it. Yeah, they are, you're just not reading the news. It's not a headline. Maybe it is now, because now they have a great images to put on the protesters. It's a little bit of a silly thing to be protesting over the retirement age going up by 2 years. I mean, okay, I get it. Yeah, protest, but this is like a mild revolution here. At least 108 police officers have been injured in clashes across France with protesters angry at pension reforms, the Interior Minister said. And apparently I think they get less money as well. I did look into it briefly. I thought it died off, but apparently it's still going. I know that like loads of services aren't running, like bins, the roads aren't being fixed. Oh no, that's standard, isn't it? Probably. Loads of things aren't happening. I don't even know if food's getting to places. I don't quite know what else has been done truck-wise, and they're blocking things off. If shops can't, I know that I think can't get any more fuel in the. I think I heard in the petrol stations and stuff like that. Oh, it's just reminiscent of the Yellow Vest protest. That lasted for years, didn't it? Wow, France. I don't get it. I don't get where this spirit comes from, because French people don't tend to be quite, they're not the rowdiest bunch. I know there was a lot going on in the World Cup when they played Morocco, but no, sorry, when Morocco played anybody. But I don't think that was the native French people, I believe. But when it comes to their politics, they're really into it. Hang on, sorry. Gerald Damien, as such a large number of police wounded was extremely rare, adding that 291 had been arrested during the unrest. Unrest digest! This is what we're supposed to be talking about. Why is my thumb black? Sorry. Hundreds of thousands have been taking part in May Day demonstrations, the communist favoured holiday, against President Emmanuel Macron reforms. Most were peaceful, but radical groups threw petrol bombs and fireworks. Police responded with tear gas and water cannon. Is that correct grammar? I'm not sure. This is BBC, by the way. I just think you could have you could have wrote that sentence better, or you could have written that sentence. See, I'm doing it myself, but I'm not paid to write BBC articles. In fact, I pay for BBC to write articles, so I at least wish they'd be able to write them. That makes sense. It is not clear how many protesters have been injured. Yeah, I'm sure that you don't want to put that in there. That wouldn't be headline news, would it, for you? Prime Minister Elizabeth Bourne tweeted that the violence was unacceptable, while also praising the responsible mobilisation and commitment of demonstrators in numerous cities. This is the last day of mass action against changes that raised the state pension from 62 to 64. Trade unions want them withdrawn. Bloody trade unions, yeah. Always striking, taking days off. I mean, I'd take a day off though. If I was in a trade union, I'd be like, whatever, cool, day off. But I don't know how it works in unions. Never been a part of one. Not a big fan of them. I like the idea of some kind of collective bargaining. Don't get me wrong. I get the idea, and I'm sure there's a lot of things I benefit from that unions have fought for. I just wish they personally all get together right now and pressure the government to lower inflation. Or not control it, lower it. In fact, get rid of it. Just ban inflation. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it outright. If they did that, their wages would increase. It's not technically increasing, but people say that. Everyone would be better off, except those who are trying to profit from inflation. Apparently, rich people profit from higher inflation. I can't remember how this worked out. It's to do with loans and that they have and stuff. So that could be one idea as to why it's happening so much, possibly. Or they're just trying to make us all poorer. You'll earn nothing. You'll be happy. So, the Interior Minister put the overall number of demonstrators at 782,000, including 112 in the capital, Paris. But the CGT union said the figure is 3 times that number. Union leaders were adamant the months-long opposition to the reforms was not waning. This is Sophie Bennett, quoted by AFP. The page is not going to be turned. as long as there is no withdrawal of this pension reform. Bloody, I mean, if this is the problem. If you're the government, you just want to go back on it and be like, okay, fine, yeah, whatever. I bet you they can't afford it though. And it's just going to increase inflation, or they're going to have to put a tax somewhere. They're going to have to move this money around that they would gain from this pension into somewhere else where it's also not favourable. And they'll just turn around and change their signs and write off, screw the pension, we don't want this tax. We don't want this inflation. We don't want this whatever. But they can try and juggle it around. But then if they cave to pressure, they can just come back and say as well, we don't want any of these other things that you already have in place. And as soon as that government goes back on one, they've shown their hand. I don't know if that phrase really fits, but you know what I mean. They'll just keep asking for more. This is the problem with the trade unions, though. As soon as they win, they just go again. Like, you know, we want a 5% pay increase. You get it. Well, we got it. Let's do it again. Well, that's for another 5%. Who doesn't want another 5% pay rise? This is the issue. This is why. And it's just, they have to go out this long, drawn-out thing of, we'll give you this, we'll come to a deal with this. And they're just always notoriously striking. I just don't think the whole system quite works with the whole trade unions. And I feel a bit like I was gaining something that wasn't belonging to me if I was part of a union, personally. I feel like I was taking something. Taking the piss. That's what it seems like. In Paris, one police officer suffered serious burns to his hands and face when struck by a petrol bomb, Mr. Darmian said. Violence was broke out in Lyons, Toulouse and Nantes, where vehicles were set on fire and businesses attacked. Bloody hell. Sorry, they got a photo here. You can't see. There also reports of protests briefly occupied a luxury hotel. Really? Only briefly? I'd just stay there and be like, we're going to take over this hotel. Oh, it's lovely in here, isn't it? Oh, we'll get back to rioting tomorrow. We'll take the streets tomorrow. Just spend some time in the hotel. Oh, anyway, sorry. In the southern city of Marseille. Oh, so south of France as well. They might join these protests. Monday was the first time since 2009 that France's top 8 trade unions have backed calls for a protest, AFP news agency said. Mr. Darmian accused far-left groups known as Black Blocs and numbering a few thousand of being behind the violence. Oh, you mean like an Antifa? It's the far left, is it? Why am I cheering for it? Because I'm fed up with government at this point. I'm not cheering for violence. Don't do violence. It's supposed to be non-violence. It's civil disobedience. Non-violence, civil disobedience. Rex Coracle Falatorius. I want to get into the ULS camera situation as well, and the people who are removing those cameras. I'll get into that maybe tomorrow. There's been a violent element to protests ever since March. Violence and urge that those who attack police and public property be severely punished. There's been a violent element to the protests ever since March, when the government decided to force legislation through the lower house of Parliament, where it lacks an absolute majority without a vote. Mr. Macron says the reform is a necessity. Really? It's such a small thing. Why does everyone care that much? I mean, I get it, but I don't at the same time. He signed the reform into law. Reform is expected to become enforced by September. Government has promised further tools when unions determined to get the change repealed. It's not clear where the compromise could be found. That's the end. Apparently. Maybe we'll come back on this one. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And please check out the next video, the last video, future videos, the past videos, all of the videos. And follow me on Rumble. Same name, Unrest Digest. And yeah, please like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.